massive recruiting weekend ahead for Colorado. They're hosting several 5- and 4-star recruits coming up to Boulder here, including guys we've had on this show: Deacon Schmidt, Brett Coolj, Felix Ojo, who I think is a great player as well. Matt, what do you got to say about this big recruiting weekend ahead? And are you looking forward to having Deacon Schmidt, your guy, and Brett Coolj as well coming to Boulder?
It's big. There's no doubt about it. Having all these guys on campus is huge. They've got car service and all this other bullshit, so it's cool. It's part of it. It's an awesome opportunity for Colorado, so we'll see if they can bag any of them. I don't know how confident I am that they can, but we'll see. Getting Deacon and Breck would be huge, having those two playing next to each other potentially. The other kids, I know that Stars set the table, so it's good to see players with high rankings, coming into town. From a recruiting standpoint with high school, I don't think we have a high school player committed. So this is it's a big weekend, and hopefully they can turn some of that around.
Definitely, Matt. And as we look, Colorado recruiting-wise here, Matt, I wanted to go and look at Colorado's first 10 acquisitions in the portal here, Big Matt, and get your thoughts on it here. We've talked about several of these guys here, and we'll talk about Noah King, Kansas State transfer DB out of class of 2025, committing to Colorado in a second. But first 10 transfer portal additions, Matt, are you happy about it, concerned about it, or is Colorado filling the needs? I think they're definitely taking care of some needs as you see some guys exit Boulder and leave. What are your thoughts on the first 10 spring transfer portal additions for CU?
The transfer portal has really been their bread and butter. Yep. They've built their team already through the transfer portal once, so yep. I don't know why they wouldn't do it again. They've lost some good players. They pretty much made a trade with Tennessee. They traded the Hood brothers for a tackle and a safety. So, it kind of is what it is. This is the nature of the beast. So they're an attractive school to a lot of players that want to go to the next level. We'll see what happens. From a skill player perspective, I have no doubt that CU can develop you into, what you want to be, but we're still waiting for the offensive and defensive lines to catch up to the skill positions. And, last year I feel like they did a pretty good job on defense. Offense wasn't very good. So we'll see what happens with the new guys they brought in. The Hill kid and Larry Johnson are both, big time players. So we'll see. The Noah King kid from Kansas State. That's always good to take a player from a rival. So yeah, it's a good list. We'll see how many of them actually pan out.
Definitely, Matt. Definitely. And you mentioned development, and I think the history shows Colorado has no problem with developing skill positions. Colorado, the most receivers drafted in this year's NFL draft. When it comes down to the trenches, Matt, I want to ask a honest question from you. Are you confident in the development of the trenches, specifically the offensive line? Are you confident Andre Gerard, George Hagenbent, and Coach Gunnar White developing some of these new guys coming in, developing Jordan Seaton and others who are already there? Are you confident in that development going into the season?
Yeah. As long as what we're trying to practice right now is actually what we're going to do.
Right.
And I know that everybody's going to say, well, development's not a thing anymore. Well, then how do you get better?
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Every kid still has to develop. They still have to go get better. Nobody's a finished product. Even the kids that look like pros they're not yet. So, you might have a pro like frame, but you still have to get a pro development from a mental standpoint. You have to be able to work and, learn how to do things correctly. I don't know. I need to see it. We've been going on 3 years now of, oh man, I hope they run the ball. The offensive line's pretty bad. To now in the third year, we're just assuming it's going to be fixed because they've got new guys and new players. Well, again, you've got to want to run the ball. And I know that's I know I'm hating, and God forbid we say anything against Coach Prime or anything, and I'm not really saying anything against him. I'm just saying when you have this big of an offensive line, really big offensive linemen are not usually the biggest problem for defensive linemen. Like 6'7", 350 is huge. But can you move? Can you play 85, 90 snaps? Can you run on screens? Can you really explode in the run game the way you're supposed to? Or would you be better off at 310?
Yeah, definitely.
Man, 350 is heavy as shit. So I just want him to run the ball. I think that it will significantly help every aspect of the team. I thought it would have helped Shador in every aspect of his teams.
Great.
They would have done it. But again, no one wants to hear that. So I'm going to just whatever everyone else thinks, that's what I think.
No, Matt, I agree with you 100%. I think having a solid run game where Colorado actually leans into it, we see some variation in the run game, something we've talked about for a long time on this show. I think Buffalo fans are definitely yearning for that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, what you said. I don't think it's hating at all. I don't understand why people would believe that. I think it's a very real thing, especially with Shador and Travis gone. Colorado definitely is going to have a run game. You mentioned the offensive line, the size of it. You got to lean into that and actually lean on the run, invest in it, and make your offense about the run and not just to have it as a backup or something like kind of how it was last year, Matt. But Matt, let's move forward here and discuss a transfer that happened over the last few days here. We talked about it briefly earlier, but Kansas State DB transfer Noah King committed to Colorado, 6'3", 200, long, lanky corner, class of 2025. He will play corner for the Colorado Buffaloes going into the season. Matt, what are your thoughts on this commitment? I think a good get for Colorado in the secondary. What are your thoughts?
And again, anytime you get a chance to steal a player from a rival, that's a good thing. I mean, we'll see what kind of player he, again, develops into here in Boulder because there's a lot of DBs in that room. A lot of guys are going to play. McKinley's being touted as a first rounder, and Hodge and all these Stoudemire and all these other cats. So we'll see where he fits in there. Obviously, this kid didn't think he was getting what he needed in Manhattan, so he transferred. But, we see young guys do this a lot. There's a lot of kids that have gone in the portal with 2 over 3, 4, 5 years of eligibility left. So I guess not 5 years, but 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it's just let's see how he pans. The Hakeem Williams kid that's also got 4 years left or whatever. Let's see how he pans.
Definitely.
A lot of these kids, you got to understand, a lot of these kids and a lot of their parents are mental cripples. And I'm not saying all of them are. I'm not saying this kid is. I'm saying a lot of them are. And it makes everything difficult. It makes development difficult. It makes working out difficult. It makes going to class difficult. It makes watching film difficult. It makes being able to criticize them difficult because that's not something you can do to anybody that plays in Colorado these days. If you criticize them at all or you say they need to do something different, it's immediately you're a piece of shit. And what do you know? And that's just the way it is, and you fucking know it is. And, the fan base freaks out. So, again, they've got some depth. They're bringing in good players. Let's see how they pan out. And I hope they do things differently here than they did at the places they were at. So we'll see.
Definitely. And you mentioned it, DJ McKinney, projected as a first-round draft pick going into next year. I'm really excited to see him lead the way for this Colorado secondary. And you mentioned, I think there was a stat that JB threw out this morning. I think it's like 60% of kids played at 3 or more schools, Matt, the ones that are entering the portal here, which is a pretty crazy stat if you really think about it here. But Matt, going back to the secondary and really breaking it down here, DJ McKinney being projected as a first-round pick. You got Noah King coming in that secondary. Preston Hodge, obviously, who we saw last season in the slot. They bring in Illinois State transfer Tion Parks. You got Makari Vickers coming over from Oklahoma. Are you confident and excited about the secondary in Boulder? I seem to be pretty excited, and they're bringing in more guys for depth-wise. What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the defense alone is going to be outstanding. The secondary will probably be the strength. If the D line becomes the strength, I think that we're a playoff type team.
Yeah.
If the secondary is the strength, I think we're an 8 or 9 win team like we were last year. Assuming the offense can hold up their end of the deal and put us in position to be ahead, and that's a lot of the battle. This kid's a stud, but he made some bonehead plays last year. So he's got to stop with the celebrating and taunting. I think he had 2 taunting penalties.
Yeah,
that cost him a pick and a touchdown last year, if I remember correctly. But he's a hell of a football player. It makes you wonder if Hood left because of his brother, or maybe he didn't want to compete with this kid. Maybe everybody can realize that there's only one open corner spot in Boulder, and this guy's got the other one, and everyone's trying to jockey for that.
Yeah,
so
you got in there too. Yeah.
You got nickel. There's a lot of jobs open, but only one real starting corner in Boulder right now, and that's 8. So, they should put a patch on H's jersey for Salessi.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt, 100%.
Saying the whole jersey thing. I know that it's dead now, but when I go to the stadium and look up there, and Travis Hunter makes sense, but Shedeur just doesn't. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is.
I hear you, Matt. I think Travis definitely deserves to be up there. The Shedeur one, I think, is definitely questionable. We heard Chad Brown talk about it. I think he has some really, really good comments on it. If you haven't listened to that interview, folks, go back and check that out. Matt and I interviewed Chad Brown about a week and a half ago. Go check that out. But yeah, Matt, I hear your sentiment 100%, especially coming from an alumni like yourself. Definitely hear your sentiment there.